New Star Trek episode fixes two underwhelming stories from the next generation. Star Trek Strange New Worlds continues to prove that not only can modern Trek honor the past, it can sometimes improve it. In its latest standout episode, the series pulls off something remarkable. It retroactively redeems two of Star Trek, the next generation's most underwhelming storylines. By reintroducing long-forgotten ideas and reshaping them through a contemporary lens, Strange New Worlds does what TNG never quite managed. It transforms missed opportunities into meaningful canon. The TNG problem: too many ideas, not enough payoff. During its 7-season run, the next generation introduced countless intriguing concepts, but not all of them reached their full potential. With a procedural-style structure and limited serialization, many potentially powerful story arcs were left dangling or concluded in ways that felt rushed or shallow. Among them were the forgotten genetic augmentation subplot introduced in The Masterpiece Society and the disappointing exploration of the Federation's approach to cultural contamination and justice. Now, decades later, Strange New Worlds picks up the threads and ties them off with care, nuance, and a modern understanding of continuity. Fix-1 Genetic Engineering gets the depth it deserves. In TNG's The Masterpiece Society, the Enterprise encounters a genetically engineered society living in isolation, designed for perfection, but crippled by its rigid structure. The episode flirted with deep questions. Should humanity seek perfection through science? What happens when individuality is sacrificed for the greater good? But it ultimately played it safe. Instead of delving into the ethical implications of genetic enhancement, the story focused more on the procedural dilemma of prime directive interference. In the end, the society is disrupted, but little is explored about what that means for the broader Federation stance on genetic engineering. Fast forward to Strange New Worlds Season 3, and in the episode Broken Symmetry, Lon Noonien Singh, a descendant of Khan himself, is thrust into direct contact with a rogue colony of genetically enhanced humans who claim they're following Khan's original vision, not the warmongering distortions history remembers. Rather than vilify them, the episode explores their perspectives, showing a range of ideologies within the augment community. Some want peace and Federation integration. Others, predictably, want power. The genius of this story is how it doesn't excuse the eugenics wars. It contextualizes them. Lon is torn between her Starfleet duty and the part of her legacy that's rarely spoken aloud. Her character becomes the lens through which the audience can reevaluate the Federation's rigid anti-augmentation laws that have left even good people out in the cold. In doing so, Strange New Worlds provides the philosophical follow-up TNG never did, not just whether genetic enhancement is dangerous, but whether the Federation's fear of it has caused more harm than good. Fix-2 The Prime Directive finally faces its moral mirror. Another episode Strange New Worlds revisits, albeit more subtly, is TNG's Justice. That infamous episode saw Wesley Crusher sentenced to death on a planet for stepping on flowers, and the crew paralyzed by the Prime Directive. While the episode is memorable, it's often mocked for its simplistic view of alien culture, awkwardly sexy wardrobe choices, and a frustratingly passive Starfleet. In Chains of Consequence, the new episode flips that on its head. When Captain Pike and the crew investigate a pre-warp society on the brink of discovering nuclear technology, they find that a Starfleet observer, a character who quietly references having served on the Enterprise D, has broken protocol to try and steer the culture toward peace. The conflict is razor sharp. Is it truly ethical to stand by and let millions die in a war you could prevent just because of a directive? Unlike Justice, which presented the Prime Directive as a rigid shield behind which morality hides, Chains of Consequence allows for a more layered discussion. Pike and Spock clash over interpretation. One sees it as law, the other as guideline. The episode ultimately offers no easy answers, but it reframes the debate in a way TNG never quite dared. By the end, the alien society is still on the brink, but now with knowledge of the stars, of life beyond their world, and a seed of hope planted by responsible Starfleet compassion. The power of modern Trek retroactive storytelling. These narrative fixes aren't just clever Easter eggs for longtime fans. They